What's going on, guys? It's Tahir here, back today with another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about crutches and why you should never have crutches. They can be really bad for you, and it almost gets to a point where you are dependent on them to carry on, right? So what do I mean by a crutch? By a crutch, what I mean is something that you depend on to get you through the day, right? So that could be for a lot of you smoking cigarettes, or I don't know, a lot of junk food, and then you get that sense of high and then you're back to normal, and you never want to live like that. That is probably the worst way of living, and that a lot of people nowadays do that, right? A lot of people, I think one of their crutches is just the consistent social media validation. Some people, honestly, believe me when I say that, people live for that kind of shit. And another thing could be smoking, especially doing drugs or alcohol, right? Alcohol could be a crutch. Now, the problem with these crutches is not only are you wasting valuable time, which could be spent pursuing your goals, but now you're also wasting a lot of money, right? So financially, you're worse off. And just imagine if you had that financial resource, let's say for the last year you've been relying on alcohol as a crutch, right? Let's say you had all that money that you spent on alcohol and you put it towards a business, right? And you worked at that business for 5 to 10 years. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you did that? Because I can tell you now, your life would be bloody great. You'd be financially free, you'd be loving life, you'd get whichever girl you wanted, provided that you are a man. And again, my channel is mostly dedicated to the men, but yeah, if you act like a man, you behave like a man, then you would have attracted the right woman, right? So yeah, and that's just from saving a little bit of money, right? And just making the right decisions with it. I do not understand how people, and I get questioned about this all the time, is how do you save so much money? How are you so calm? How are you so mature? How do you do this? How do you do that? And I just tell them it's discipline. You've just got to be not only consistent, but you've got to like do what you're saying. Do what you say you're going to do, right? And not be a hypocrite. So if you say you're going to do this, you do it, right? And disciplining yourself and building that willpower to kind of do that thing. So for me, I have saved quite a lot over the last couple of years. I'm not going to say how much, but it wasn't really too difficult. Now, a lot of people will probably look at me and be confused, but just hear me out. So if you're consistent, right, and you have it in your head that you are going to save a lot of money and you really believe it, then trust me, you will. Now, a lot of people don't have that belief. A lot of people actually do believe that they're going to get their wages, right, and they're just going to spend it. And what happens as a result? They actually do end up spending it. Now, and a lot of the time it goes on crutches, so stuff like drugs, alcohol, even cigarettes for some people. I know people in my in life that smoke at least a few boxes a day. I'm talking boxes, I'm not talking just individual cigarettes, and that is, I don't know, that's a lot of money. That I would be scared if I spent that much money. I would just rather invest in. Now, what I'm not saying is completely prison yourselves from it, but just be a bit smarter, because money is the one thing that it's not the sole reason for your happiness, but at the same time it is, because if you have money, then you don't have stress, and if you don't have stress, then you will be living a really happy life, provided you do the right shit in all of the areas of your life. So reading, journaling, all that kind of stuff. But again, that's another topic. But yeah, so do not rely too much on I wouldn't rely on crutches at all, actually. I'll take that back. Yeah, I wouldn't rely on crutches at all. And I would try, if you are on a crutch, slowly try and get yourselves out of the habit. Now, you ain't gonna do it day one, right? You ain't gonna do it in a week, you ain't gonna do it in a month. It's gonna take a bit of time. But what you have to do is, if you truly want to get out of that sort of lifestyle, just lower your intake. Let's say you're doing 4 boxes of cigarettes a day. Why don't you lower that down to 3.5 boxes, yeah, for the first like week to 2 weeks, and then another half box again, right? Do you get the point? And then maybe when you're down to 2 boxes, then take it cigarette by cigarette. until eventually you get to a point where you're not doing it anymore. And trust me, I know a lot of people that have done this, and they've done it very slowly. And I've also seen people that have done it very fast. And I can tell you, the people that have done it very slowly, they usually end up seeing the most results. Whereas if you were to do it suddenly, your brain's not going to be used to it, and as a result, you'll go a few days feeling really angry and whatnot, because you haven't had that kind of stimulation that your body normally gets. So you'll just end up going back on it, and actually it's probably worse, because when you go back on it, you'll probably end up binging. But anyway, that's all. So progressively, I guess, deload out of it, and try not to rely on it too heavily, because it can ruin your life, and for the worse. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave the video a like, comment down below what you want the next video to be, and I will see you on the next video.